Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Environmental Social Justice. I am your host, Wendy Nystrom, with my co-host, Miss Joy Langford. Today's special guest is Mr. Chris Bentley. He is an eco-warrior, ecopreneur. Mr. Bentley, you have started over a dozen companies focusing on sustainability. So thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Today, we're going to talk about, well, you actually traveled the world in your youth and you saw quite a bit of pollution, quite a bit of destruction to the environment, which led you to start all of these, eco-warrior initiatives. But today we're going to talk about the Pet Sustainability Coalition, of which I have your website right here. Could you please tell us what this is?
Yes. The pet industry is an industry that I started 3 different companies in. And I realized how much waste and poor packaging and supply chain issues. So after I sold my last one, I decided to start this. Next year will be our 10-year anniversary, to help businesses to green up their operations, their supply chain, their packaging, whatever it is. And so this is mostly B2B. Well, it's all B2B, business to business. And it's not really consumer facing, although we have done a program to recycle the multi-laminate bags that are used for all kibble dog food. And
very good.
Yeah, so it's a take-back program that we turn them into filling for beds, for dog beds. But it started just because I saw that there was a real need for it out there. So I spent a couple of years going to the trade shows, talking to like-minded individuals and companies and saying, hey, let's start up a coalition to green up our industry here. And we found a really great executive director who has been running it day to day. I've always been volunteer, and it is a nonprofit. We have 10 full-time staff, about 200 members. 20% of them are international, and our budget is about $1.2 million a year, and that all comes from membership.
That's fantastic.
The members' dues.
So the whole program being, implementing sustainability for pet products. So what is that? What products are sustainable? What's not sustainable? Because this is new to people. Most people don't think of pet supplies as being sustainable or not.
Yeah, I think it would be a shock to most people to learn that 25% of all the meat, the protein that is out there for human consumption in the United States goes to the pets. So 25% of all human grade meat goes to pets. So there's a lot of opportunities all through that supply chain, all through the packaging supply chain is a real big focus of ours. We have all sorts of different tools. We have a toolkit I'll show you here. I guess I can't click on it. Can you click on the tool?
I can try. Let me open that up. Let's see.
Yeah.
There we go.
Scroll down a little, please.
Absolutely. Just tell me when to stop. Good.
Okay, so here, stop. So here's ways that we help the companies get started with the accelerator, which is, as you can read there, a 4-step program. But then the toolkit, we'll just click on the get started there and we can see some of the different things. Scroll down a little. There's all sorts of stuff on here. Yeah, strategy, culture and engagement, climate efficiency. Keep going. So you can see, and all of those have different case studies and different trends and things. So yeah, it's pretty involved. And keep going. You can see some of our original members here, Kong, and these are different members, the statements about why they joined. You can see 8 of them here. First gave me $10,000 each 9 years ago. And with that, we hired a really well-known consulting firm to help us populate all this toolkit and stuff, click on the resource center and you'll see some other things. But it's turned into a really dynamic program that, like right now, is our big trade show in Las Vegas. And today there's 5 companies that are publicly announcing. Yeah, just keep poking around on there and you can kind of see some of the different stuff.
And what's their website again, just so people can?
PetSustainability.org.
Awesome.
I'm afraid it's not. I think my bandwidth might be a little taken up.
All right, well, shut her down then.
Chris, so what are some of the like, believe it or not, environmental? I worked with a company that made dog food out of rendered materials from a meat packing plant that was right down the street. A lot of people don't even know where their dog food is coming from. You're talking about 20% of the food or product that comes from animals that is edible actually goes to our pet food supply. I know dogs can eat a lot of things like organ, meat, and different things that, a lot of us humans are not accustomed to. What are some of the sustainable ways that, dog food's being made, some of the sustainable products that you're using in packaging? What are some of the things that you are very excited about that are going on in your industry right now?
Okay, the protein sourcing is a big one that we're working on. And we're working on that in conjunction with Walmart and some of the big pet food companies, trying to animal welfare, how the beef or whatever kind of protein is raised, whether it be chicken or fish or whatever. We're real active with the Sustainable Fishing Coalition, as FSC, I think. And the packaging is a huge issue, because with that kibble, there is oils in all that material. So it can't be just recycled easily. It's multi-laminate. It has to be manually torn apart and separated into different things that can be recycled then. So that's a big initiative. But how do you even get that back from the consumer? Well, we put up bins in the pet store where they can bring back any type of multi-laminate bag, whether it's from that store or not, that had pet food in it, put it in that bag, and then the distributor that brings the food into the store takes that multi-laminate packaging out and consolidates it and ships it to our recycler. And that's saving huge amounts of money. And then transportation is a big one. We help companies that want to be zero waste, which there's a lot of things you can do internally, which you should do first. But then a lot of companies are going to need to buy credits. And so what's the best credits and how do they match up? So we have a whole division that works with companies on that. And then I think 2 years ago, whenever George Floyd really got kicked off with his murder, we put in a whole new DEI initiative too, where we have a lot of educational workshops. Once or twice a month, we have workshops, webinars for all of our members, where we generally have 500 people on each call that we talk about these different things I'm just addressing here. And DEI has been one that's been a real big interest. And a lot of those, we don't hold ourselves out to be the experts. And so we've partnered with DEI firms, packaging consultants, all sorts of different organizations, B Corp, the United Nations, sustainability goals. And so if someone wants to be a member, they have to take an assessment. And the assessment is a subset of what B Lab does to verify B corporations. So they have to take that assessment. After that assessment, it drops down what the biggest impact could be for them to have with different projects to green up their business. It could be something as easy as starting to recycle, changing out light bulbs, stuff that people should have done 20 years ago, but they just haven't had a roadmap or inspiration on how to do it. Other ones is way more sophisticated than that. And then we have our experts either internally or that we consult with that is part of your membership. They consult with you to green up whatever aspect that impact assessment drops down to the bottom. And then it's required that at the end of a 12-month period, they have to report back to us how they did on making these improvements and show continual improvement. And if they don't, after a year of no action, we ask them to leave because they're not serious about it. We want to spend our time and resources on companies that are really serious about improvements. So that begs the question, will you take just anybody in the pet industry? And the answer is yes. And we discuss this all the time. Should we allow XYZ company that we know has these bad practices to be a part of our membership? And I've always been an advocate of those are the ones we want. We don't want to just be singing with the choir. We want to show these companies how we can really move them along the path of sustainability. Because as you guys know, it's a journey. You'll never get to the top of the mountain. You're always going to be climbing that mountain. So it's nice to have a roadmap, and you can see what's on the screen right now. Super Zoo booth 3775 is our booth at this trade show that's going on right now at Super Zoo. And we have all sorts of educational things going on there, parties. That's where we're having a big press conference today for the 5 companies that have made this packaging pledge to have all products, all packaging, either refillable, recyclable, or greatly reduced by 2025. And it's some of the biggest companies in the industry. You would know all 5 of the names that are companies doing this.
That's great. You guys are 10 years ahead of the schedule for the state at the state level and even the federal level of 2035 and 2040 to get products in line and make sure that we can get to net zero as quickly as possible. Any sort of food packaging or packaging in general that we can reduce, whether it's eating out materials or materials for your pets, that's an awesome goal. And you guys are more aggressive with the time frame. So
Right.
That's a great thing, Chris.
I went to the United Nations climate talks. Why don't you shut that screen there, Wendy, please? I went to the United Nations climate talks in Scotland a few months ago and the ones in Paris. And the goals that they're setting are pushed out way too far.
Yes.
2030, 2050. I mean, come on, we're going to all be run out of water by then. We're going to be burning up the air. You know all the problems that when I got into this world of eco warrior stuff was 40, 50 years ago. And we never in our wildest dreams would think that we were going to see the effects like we are already.
We should have started 40 years ago.
At
Quite
least.
honestly, what we should have done.
Yeah.
But going back to the Pet Sustainability Coalition,
Yes.
I know it's membership and it's a business to business, but you offer education, inspiration, action. You focus on the sustainable development goals. You have that toolkit accreditation. Going back to when you traveled as a young man through the world and you saw the destruction of the planet. What led you to pet products? Because most people, again, kind of repeating myself, most people think transportation and buildings and smog and everything, water. Pet products is a huge industry. Billions of dollars are being spent in pet products. So
Yes.
For you to focus on that, what triggered you when you said pet products needs to change?
When after I got my college education, I traveled for 2 years around the world, mostly to, they call them third world countries at the time. I think there's developing world, or I can't keep up with it now, but I knew that I had to do something. And at the time, John Denver was really popular, singing about Rocky Mountain High and all that thing. Stuff. Rocky Mountain Institute was just getting started up in Aspen. And so I moved to Aspen 40 years ago to be with all of them. And so I became good friends with John Denver. I'm very good friends with the people who started Rocky Mountain Institute. That's who helped with getting our company going. So while I was up there, I met a guy who had previously started another company and was wealthy, and he was looking to start something else. He didn't know what. He read an article in the Wall Street Journal that the CEO of Toys R Us was leaving Toys R Us to buy into this little company at the time called Petco. And he said, if he is going to leave Toys R Us, where he created big box stores, Toys R Us was the first big box stores. Then it went to office supply and automotive and do it yourself. He said, that's what Brian is going to do in the pet world. So let's get into the pet world and hitch our wagon to Petco. And within, I think, 5 years, we were the largest supplier to Petco, PetSmart, Walmart, Target, Kroger,
Wow.
all the big retailers. Yeah, we pretty quickly got to be a $100 million a year company, 350 employees. Eventually, we got up to 5,000 active SKUs. And that partner of mine was just a creative genius. He could take this cup and tell you 5 ways to make it more fashionable and more functional. And so we did that with pet products. We were the first one to come out with plush toys for dogs. Prior to that, where there was just vinyl, latex, and rubber. We were the first ones to come out with fancy leashes. We came out with those ropes that have knots in the ends. We came out with those hooded cat boxes that contain the smell, and just all sorts of things that were not on the market before. But the key to our success was we just didn't come out with 1 or 2 SKUs at a time, products. We came out with sections, like a 16-foot section to make up 4-foot sections, which is what pegboards are. And we'd go and they'd have to take our whole assortment, and that protected our space. And so then as we got into the really sustainable stuff, we built campaigns around all that, and that's how we took off.
So, Chris,
remarkable.
like to kind of wrap it up for our viewers and help them kind of distinguish, what are some of the key takeaways that people can use in their lives to promote pet sustainability? Where do you see the future of this going? And is there a way for an average citizen to get out and make a difference?
Well, as far as where it's going, and Petco is now creating, they have a whole section of natural products that keeps getting bigger and bigger. And they're starting to require that any manufacturer who's in that section, and this, like I say, the section's getting bigger and bigger, they have to be part of our Pet Sustainability Coalition, because they know that we're the real deal and not just, we're not selling any products. We're strictly helping to green up your operations. Now, as far as consumers, you can definitely look at the ingredients. that one of the things that has been really overblown is the feed them like family. That Blue Buffalo kind of started that a few years ago, and everybody thinks they have to feed their pet high protein, human grade food. That's absolutely not true. You talked about the organ meat and the byproducts. If you ever see a pack of wolves take down a wild animal, elk or buffalo, the first thing they'll do is go right for the gut and tear out all the organs and what we consider byproducts. But that's much healthier. So don't be fooled by that human grade line. And another thing manufacturers like to do is have their package. I'm not talking about bags of pet food, but like more like hard goods, the toys and stuff like that, as big as possible with big header cards on them that talk about what it is. You don't need all that. A little hang tag can do just as well. So if someone is selling something with big packaging, don't even look at it. I guest lecture a lot at the University of Colorado. I'm about to go over there now and talk to some MBA classes about how to find and keep a green job. I always tell them, you've grown up hearing about the 3 R's: reduce, recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Well, there's one before that: refuse.
Ooh,
When you go
that's
to a
good.
trade show and they're passing out swag and stuff that you might wear on your one time, or at the grocery store, they're demoing stuff and they give you, just refuse it.
I
And
agree.
before any of those other 3. So when you get to the pet store, refuse the things that you know are not sustainable. Too much packaging, too much human food, poor ingredients. And we do not certify, we don't have a stamp that goes on products. I never wanted to have certification as one of our things that we offer, because that gets you into a whole different world. So you can't really look on the package and see if they're a member of the Pet Sustainability Coalition, but you can definitely get on our website. It's open to everybody. One of the things I insisted with the people from Rocky Mountain Institute that helped start our company is that for now and evermore, the information on that website is completely open sourced. Whether you're a member, a consumer, whoever, you can get on there and look at all of our tools, all of our case studies, all of our resources. And so one of the things I'm working on now is taking this into other industries, because we've built a successful model here. And now I want to take it to other industries. I don't want to get our staff working on that because they've got plenty of growth ahead. But with our 10-year anniversary coming up, we are going to be doing a whole bunch of new programs, and we are going to start getting into consumer-facing initiatives. So this is going to be around for a long, long time.
And it's
Chris,
necessary.
we look forward to it. And, we look forward to having you back as a guest. We want to keep up on this. I love my pet dearly.
Yes, you do.
She's been a beacon of light during some pretty dark times. They're just wonderful beings. And anything that we can do to support them and support our environment at the same time, I think both Wendy and I are all for it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
one of the nice things about the pet industry is it's filled with love. It's filled
Yes.
with love. At this trade show that's going on right now, I'm not going because I have commitments at CU, but the competitors, the head-to-head competitors, they're still all collaborating with us on how to be more sustainable. And they share what they're doing that would in any other industry be competitive information. and they
Yeah.
don't look at it like that. It's a love, filled with love industry.
And collaboration. And the only way we're going to solve the climate crisis is working together.
Yep, exactly
Yeah.
right. I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Because
All
Likewise.
about the outreach. So, Chris, thank you so much. Please come back as you guys do more. We want to hear more updates, things that you guys are progressing on, because I think it's vastly important for the public to know, especially as you start going to consumer. And guys, please check out the Pet Sustainability Coalition, Chris Bentley. We thank you for your time today, and enjoy your day at Colorado. You're helping students out. You're a mentor, so that's fantastic.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Okay.
guys. I'm
Bye.
Wendy Nexon, host with Environmental Social Justice with my co-host, Joy Langford. We will see you next time. Take care, everyone.
Take care.